Hey guys, it's been a fair bit since I made a video, because I was away, in Italy. So a bit as an on-theme point, for this video, it's going to be a pasta review, specifically my favorite variety of the stuff, carbonara. So I guess without further ado, let's get started with a fussy eater's guide to Italy. Starting off quite strong, we have the specialists, or gli... You know what, I may be half Italian, but I sure as hell don't know how to pronounce that. Anyway, the specialists was the place I went to in my first night in Italy. It was a really nice experience, and probably one of the best carbonara I've had. It was simple, but compared to the pasta you have in Australia, or at least the stuff I've seen, it's amazing. So I don't know if you guys know what guanciale is, but it's basically what is meant to be used in, carbonara, and that was the first time I've ever had, carbonara with guanciale. Look, honestly, pretty simple, really nice. Unfortunately, I was extremely jet-lagged and forgot to get a photo, so you'll have to do with these photos I found by Googling them. Alright, next up we have Roscioli. I'm not going to even bother to try to pronounce the proper name, but hey, at least you know I got a proper video of it this time. It was very tasty carbonara. In comparison to the carbonara made by the specialists, the carbonara from Roscioli is made in a style that is known as al dente, meaning it is made firmer and slightly harder to eat, but is overall pretty nice, actually. I do recommend trying al dente pasta. Anyway, it also provides, like, the sauce with a nice thicker taste with it, because it helps you not go through it as quickly. But the thing is, with this, the pasta is also slightly bigger, making it more filling. They use the same type of meat, the guanciale. They also added some pepper to their meal, which the specialists did not, which is actually it was a nice addition. Another thing to note would be the aesthetic and, like, design of the restaurant. Me and my family were in the underground wine cellar area, which was really, really nice. But I checked their website. Once again, the link of their website will be in the description. There are a couple other places in the restaurant that you can sit, but from my experience, it's a nice place all around. The food is delicious. The carbonara is made with great guanciale. The pepper is a nice addition to the meal, and it is done kind of the perfect amount of al dente. But yeah, it's just all in all a pretty good place to get carbonara. With such a strong start from the other contenders, not everything will catch up. But I did get a video, so that's good. And although the pasta from Italia... damn it, just read the thing I've written down. It was nice. It certainly wasn't as good as the others. For one, its cheesy flavor was a tad strong, at least for my taste. The sauce was a nice thickness, but it was also sticky, as in it wouldn't leave the food if you didn't want it. And I think they could have left the pasta to cook a slight bit longer, but it wasn't all bad. There was the guanciale was lovely. It was crispy. But once you got your fork into it, oh, that is what definitely saved it and kept it likable. And although I don't want to be mean, it's certainly not one of the ones from this list I'd recommend. If you have the time, Da Enzo is the place to be. it being my favourite carbonara of my entire trip, as you can see above me. One of the only things holding it back would be its popularity, as I would recommend, if you are going to go there, arrive at like 6, and it opens at 7. Yeah, both times we went there, my mum stood in the line. Props to her. Well, on to actually describing the meal, you know? It was a lovely, balanced meal. It had a lovely sauce that would attach to the food, but not too much, and if you didn't want it to do so, it wouldn't. The guanciale was made crispy, and once you got it in, oh, it was so nice. It was soft inside. It was really good. The only slight downside. On the first time, and the first time alone that I went there, the pasta was made slightly too al dente, but it seems that the second time they had worked around it, and it was just perfect and a lovely way to end off the segment on Rome. Now, just because carbonara is a pretty Rome-based thing, doesn't mean you can't find it elsewhere. Take, for example, Ristorante al Pescatore, which was a pretty good, bowl of carbonara, despite not being its specialty, or even in Rome. It had a pretty good sauce. Unfortunately, outside of Rome, I didn't really find any guanciale, so they used bacon. And it could have been done a slight bit more al dente. But other than that, there isn't actually, anything bad about it. It's a pretty good bowl of carbonara. It's just, unfortunately, outside of the area of expertise. With Italy being such a large place of so many different kinds of food, you're bound to find street food of your favorite, variety of Italian food. And that's exactly what I found at, I don't know how to pronounce that tone mark over the E, so I'm just going to say E-pasta. It was a pretty simple meal, served in, those Chinese takeout boxes that are always shown on TV? It was served in one of those, and you know what? It tasted very homemade, which is a good thing and a bad thing. It was simple, used, I think it was bacon or ham, and overall, a homey meal. There's not much to talk about it, but hey, if you're in the area, I do recommend it. It's a nice snack. Now, this has got to be one of the most unorthodox, I think, ways of making pasta. Yet it was still delicious. At Jenny's Street Food, I ordered a thing of carbonara. And it was this pasta ball that was fried on the outside, which made it easy to hold, and it was delicious. It was like really well-made carbonara put into a little ball. The only thing that could have been improved on it, I think, is maybe adding another option for a larger serving size, or improving in the meat department, as the only bit of meat you can see is, well, on top of it. Overall, it was a nice meal. Well, I think that is going to be it for today's video, guys. Going to Italy was a great experience, and I'm so glad that I get to, share the results of, a culinary journey? I don't know if that's the right word. If it's not, you guys can give me a better word in the comments. But, until next time, be sure to like, subscribe, enable notifications, and until next time, I've been OscarOx Games. This has been a Fussy Eater's Guide to Italy, and until next time, OscarOx out. Bye-bye!